Hello everyone, Rissy Toothpick here, back again with something new, and today we're gonna play Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened. Let's just jump in here. This is pretty much blind, I haven't really played any of it, so we should have a good time getting stuck and having fun trying to, figure out these mysteries.
Dr. Watson, would you kindly close the door behind you so that we can limit the price of your carelessness to merely hours of work rather than days?
My apologies, Mr. Holmes. I found myself rather taken aback. I saw tidier houses in war-torn Afghanistan. Are those my surgical needles?
I ran out of tacks and the matter required immediate attention.
Was that my supper?
Plainly not, for I was the one who ate it.
I set it aside for this evening.
And for that I am grateful.
Is that my bed?
Watson, since you've proven yourself a master of observation, might I ask you to apply your skills to a more pertinent question? Namely, the whereabouts of today's newspapers. They are the key to everything. The newsboy is usually reliable.
Medically speaking, I often find that the key to everything is good sleep. In a bed. Your papers are here, on the table.
Let us see what the postman brought today.
Alrighty. So let's explore the newspaper. London Advertiser, September 28th, 1882. Tension between England and Sweden are running high after a series of unfortunate mishaps during a recent visit to London by Swedish Princess Edur. Chief among the scandals was the embarrassment of the British diplomatic corps, as a result of the unexplained disappearance of Princess Edur's personal bodyguard. The longtime member of her inner circle took the opportunity to explore London while off duty, and never returned from his late-night promenade. A spokesman for the police assures the Advertiser that they are confident the bodyguard will be located, as he is a striking representative of the Scandinavian people. A man like that gets noticed whether by his peers at the gentlemen's clubs or the fair nightingales who comfort them.
Local gossip, all of it uninteresting.
Uninteresting. Let's figure out what this letter's about.
Another letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming.
He likes you. He wants you. Alrighty, check out this book.
Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good service.
Let's go to Barnes & Noble. Buy some manga.
I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a pattern of crime across London spanning many months and involving many men. The missing paper cannot be a coincidence.
That's preposterous.
My dear fellow, life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man can invent.
Well, life used your newspaper to wipe its posterior, so after that unpleasant discovery this morning, I disposed of it. But in lieu of the Strand, perhaps I can deliver you something equally tantalizing. I have just returned from a patient of mine, Captain Stemwick, who...
No, that will not do. Grab your coat, Dr. Watson. Let us hope nobody has collected the dustbin.
Alrighty. We gotta go check the trash can. They got some nice paintings in here. It's rainy today. Why not dress in something more appropriate? Alrighty. What are we gonna go in? I already got it. This looks nice. This looks like someone who's gonna investigate some crime. Let me just get rid of all these exclamation marks. We don't need them. And you know, this is the perfect detective's hat for back then. Like if I was a detective back then, this is what I'd be wearing. Let's get rid of all this. Alrighty, yeah, we're looking good. Let me just skip that so we don't have to look at it. Alrighty, so we got something here.
A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination tool.
Ooh, you know, that's pretty neat. Like, you never like really look into it. Like, man, could you use cactus thorns as an assassination tool? But that's a big piece of cactus thorn right there.
You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Alrighty, time to run.
Get the Strand. Get your copy of the Strand here.
Alright, let's talk to the boy.
Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning early.
Let's turn this into God of War. Boy. Alright, but yeah, back then, you know, during this time period, kids still, like, worked. One of the, like, worst jobs they could have was being chimney sweepers. The chimneys were so small that they got kids to clean the chimneys. And a lot of them had, like, you know, issues with their lungs because they'd breathe in all the chimney stuff. And a lot of kids died. And that was one of the major reasons, or what led up to kids, you know, where there being laws where kids couldn't work.
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here?
Nothing gets past me, mister.
Then tell me, did you notice anyone suspicious at my door this morning?
Like the man with your newspaper?
Precisely. What do you know?
I know the value of a shilling.
Dr. Watson,
Cool, now I can take the day off.
Dr. Watson, beat the child. We'll get the information out of him without a shilling.
did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really. I saw him approaching your house, but I had a customer. Then there's a loud bang. I ducked down. Not because I was scared, because I wasn't. I had to protect the merchandise. And all I could see was him kneeling at your door.
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers. Sorry.
Can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books. Up to his chin they were.
Never heard of a well-read assassin.
Looks can deceive. Hence the appeal of disguises. All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, Mr. Holmes. Maybe I could be your eyes and ears. If you have more shillings.
Alrighty, Mr. Watson. Let us go pay a homeless man a shilling
Get your copy of the Strand here.
so he can beat this kid. But let's go to our mind place here. We got something here. Who ruined the Strand? A book from Barnes. And the testimony from the child. Boom. I'm the best there ever was. Mr. Barnes is involved in the scheme. The newsboy said the suspicious man was carrying a stack of books, and this morning Mr. Barnes, the local bookseller, delivered a novel for Dr. Watson. A cactus spine for assassination, a loud bang, a visit to Mr. Barnes is in order. That's right, let's go beat him up.
Come now, Mr. Holmes.
Actually, hold on, let us, I think that's the one we want to hit. Among our morning deliveries is a book for Watson. It was from Mr. Barnes, who prefers to be delivered. Attached to the book is Barnes' business card, which includes the address of a store just around the corner.
Murder? Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has his scruples.
Get the Strand.
Not every pawn
Get your
knows
copy
it's
of the
part of
Strand
the game.
here.
Alright, so he is just around the corner. I don't know what that means, but we're going around this corner. Oh, we found it. Oh, look at them. Is that government drones up there? Or is it a crow? A crow or a pigeon? Which one are you? Sounds like a crow. Yeah, we don't need that. Let's break this man. Tell me everything I want to know. Ooh, time to observe. Bags under eyes. Overwork? Oh, he's got something on those hands. Newspaper ink. Sore left leg. I don't know what he's been doing with that leg. High heels. Wants to look taller. So this guy, he looks at. Like, let's be honest. There's no way he's a victim. He's a workaholic. Mr. Barnes has developed a limp and has large bags under his eyes, the result of long hours of intense work. He's not very confident and tries to appear taller by wearing high heels. It seems unlikely that such a person would be involved in a murder plot, even if the ink on his hands suggests he is one who soiled the newspaper. Nevertheless, Mr. Barnes could still be a pawn in a bigger plan without his knowledge. Let's be honest. This guy, he don't even look like an assassin. I'd be very surprised.
Mr. Barnes, a word. Oh, for goodness sake.
Who goes there?
Sherlock Holmes. Now will you please...
Mr. Holmes. Golly, I did not see you come in.
Would you care to answer some questions for me?
Well, I wish I could, but I am deep in the weeds with work. How about we reschedule in a month or two?
Come now, Mr. Barnes. It will only take a moment.
Really deep in the weeds with important things. Well, help yourself to any book. Just take it and pay later. I trust you, Mr. Holmes.
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out.
Barnes is being very suspicious. Too suspicious.
The ladder is broken recently, judging by the freshness of the wood.
I hear a dog. Let me turn. Oh, look at the little puppy dog. Damn, he's got a big bone.
So, Barnes has a dog now. Who's a good boy?
Alright. I know what we got to do. I don't know if we can handle it, but we'll take the dog and we'll force him out. We'll take a knife to the dog and persuade him to come out peacefully.
I could hardly imagine anything more macabre.
No, that's terrible though. Look at that dog though. He looks like a... He's kind of small. He's got them big ears like a bloodhound, or... He's probably a bloodhound, baby. Your little baby dog. Let's see what we got here. A catalog of exotic plants on Barnes' counter. The name of the catalog reads, Everlasting Plants for an Everlasting Love. Ooh, very romantic.
Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. It appears Barnes has an interesting hobby.
He's trying to bring someone back from the dead. This Sherlock Holmes game might have more to do with like the paranormal. So we might see creatures, I'm not for sure.
In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is.
Oh, I think I know who the recipient is.
Improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible.
Look at that lady right there. Mm-hmm.
The finest view London has to offer.
Yeah, we definitely need to go talk to her. Okay, is there anything else we're missing in here? Not really. I'm pretty sure this girl's got something to do with it. She looks very out of place.
Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
Ooh, here we go. Cactus.
Familiar spine? Is this what I found in my dustbin?
This could be the murder weapon.
The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something.
Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
Ooh, you're tickling something. Now that was rude of me. Alright, for beauty or concealment. Distant look avoids eye contact or distracted. Unusual for work attire. Let's check her titties. Honor deceased husband. What else you hiding from me? Change shoes upon arrival. You know, she's got the look in her eye. She's ready to move on. Miss Flemings wears a mourning brooch in memory of her late husband. Her dress is made from an expensive fabric that is not suitable for work. Her shoes show no traces of mud. She must have changed them when she arrived. Her eyes constantly dart around the street, seemingly in search for something. Perhaps she is waiting for someone. While Mrs. Fleming cherishes the memory of her departed husband, she is trying to move on, as suggested by her makeup and nice outfit. Perhaps she is dressing to attract someone's attention, or simply because she has learned to love herself again. She's a red flag. Don't go up for her. She's gonna
Mrs.
cause nothing but
Fleming,
pain.
You look particularly lovely today. Is there a reason?
Does a woman need a reason to look or feel beautiful?
No, but your distant look suggests you seek one man's gaze in particular.
Who told you that?
Nobody. Merely a keen eye and some simple deduction.
Well, I'll kindly ask you to keep your keen eye to yourself, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, don't you be talking smack to me. Alright, so let's talk here.
One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
The cactus. Those fearsome spines can prove a devil to remove, and the sap is often toxic.
And a rose thorn can give you tetanus, but we still grow them. The cactus seems comparatively harmless, though you have me thinking it must be valuable.
I was under the impression that you knew its price already.
Your guess is as good as mine. The first time I saw this cactus was when I came back from my break.
Very interesting.
I don't know anything about this, sorry.
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of water.
Do they mean anything to you?
Mean anything how? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Holmes.
Why do you think they're there?
Are you suggesting the flowers are for me?
It seems likely, does it not?
Oh, I hope you're right.
Interesting. And I guess we could talk about Mr. Barnes.
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes, no, not really. Well, in a way.
What on earth does that mean?
I know who he is, of course, but we haven't shared much more than a look.
A look?
Yes. Each morning I go for a walk in the park with my dog, and most days I spot Mr. Barnes there with his new puppy, so we see each other. Actually, we once met briefly while our dogs played. He was quiet and seemed unsteady as he approached, but since then, we've never spoken. I often see him staring through the shop window. Sometimes I wonder what he thinks about that would etch such longing onto his face.
Okay, so we're done with her. You know, I have a weird theory. Let's say he's like attracted to this lady, right? But he's like too scared to talk to her. So he has books about like, you know, the dead bodies. What if he's like, hey, I can't talk to her, so why not, you know, kill her and then I can have her to myself? I mean, it's the perfect, perfect excuse for him. All right, well, the cactus in the cracked pot is pretty interesting. Dead flowers on display. Very interesting. And, maybe this one. Alrighty, Mr. Barnes loves Miss Fleming. Barnes displays a bouquet of dead flowers to attract the attention of Miss Fleming, a florist. He may hope she will come into his shop and give him watering advice, or it could simply be a symbol of his desperation. Barnes anonymously gifted her a cactus which he ordered from a catalog on his counter. A questionable choice, but for Barnes, a symbol of his eternal love since the catalogs presents these cacti as immortal. Plainly, this is the same cactus he dropped on the Strand outside 221B Baker Street. Now to hear the full story. Alrighty, so now it's time to go talk to Mr. Barnes, I'm assuming. Let's get rid of all this. We will pin that one.
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Oh my god, he's got alchemy on the wall. Alright, but let's go talk to Mr. Barnes. Mr. Barnes, you're lucky I didn't kill your dog. I was gonna turn you into John Wick.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes. I can't hear you very well from behind the door.
Let's go with the cactus.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it for Mrs. Fleming as a gift. You place flowers in the window to get her attention and wear high heels to appear taller and more desirable. You are her secret admirer.
Oh man, he's causing like a whole bunch of problems in there.
I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand because it was covered in soil and spines. I know you dropped a cactus on it and then fled.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in disclosing your personal affairs to anyone, including Mrs. Fleming. Please come out.
All right, then.
So, you know what happened then? I was on my way back from the post office, having picked up the cactus and some books. It was quite an awkward package, heavy too, and when I got to your door, I dropped the cactus and your paper. Forgive me.
I needed that paper to prove a theory and prevent a crime. Your actions were rather disruptive. Your clumsiness carrying the post is matched only by the clumsiness of your romantic gesture.
Oh, it's true. I am useless with this sort of thing. I'm not even sure if Mrs. Fleming noticed.
Man, this guy feels so sad. I know what to do. Time to grow something, mister.
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the abstruse signals and anonymous gifts, and simply talk to the woman. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this endless purgatory.
Yes, you are correct, of course. I do have a slight tendency to overthink things. Thank you.
So at last, we return to the matter of the paper. I'm investigating a string of burglaries. Did you perhaps read of any before the edition was spoiled?
I don't recall, but you're welcome to read our copy for yourself.
You had an issue of The Strand here all along?
Well, naturally. I am a bookseller. I have a subscription to every magazine and newspaper in London.
So you ought to be familiar with the concept of burying the lead.
Oh no, my apologies, Mr. Holmes. I'll make it up to you however I can. I am an expert on obscure languages and translation and.
Yes, okay. Just give me the paper.
Alrighty, The Strand, September 28th, 1882. Saltpeter explosion rocks docks. Locals at the Port of London had a rude awakening last night, with loud bangs and thick red smoke disturbing the peace. Merchant ship Moskva had docked at Pier Number 3 in the early evening en route to Europe, when it was rocked by several concussive explosions. The port authority is yet to comment on the incident, and it is unknown if any crew members were on board at the time. Eyewitnesses report seeing saltpeter leaking into the river, but with the area still off limits to workers and the public, it may be some time before we have a full account of what transpired.
Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about you and Mrs. Fleming.
Alrighty, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe she goes around telling everyone in the neighborhood that he's a freak, and then he ends up killing himself. You ever thought about that? Sherlock
Holmes?
Holmes?
That was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem rather unlikely.
There was supposed to be another burglary. I was certain of it. Something you wish to say, Doctor?
No. Well, only that you have a remarkable faculty for deduction and pattern recognition, and that perhaps, if ill-applied...
I see things that are not there.
Yes. It is London. There will always be burglaries. Doesn't have to mean anything.
So it seems. Forgive me. Without something to occupy my mind, I turn into an entirely different animal.
Which brings us back to my news from earlier. I think I have a case for you, a real one.
Truly?
Indeed. Though perhaps not as thrilling as your stories from Cordona. A patient of mine, Captain Stenwick, told me that his servant disappeared. I said I knew just the man to help. What do you say?
Oh, Watson.
Yes, I know it's not the most tantalizing mystery, nor the story to launch my writing career. But...
it's brilliant. Let's go.
Oh, good. Well, his house is nearby. Come.
Hey, his house is nearby. He's pointing this way. Let's go in here first. Right here. He is located on the same street as Barnes Bookshop. Okay, and he's pointing this way, so let's go. Oh, this is like a prison cart. Oh, yep, the police. I think this is maybe the police station?
Not much further now.
Alright, I'm assuming it's these two doors right here, so let's go in. Probably need to talk to those two weirdos over there, but let's kind of explore a little bit before we get over. Maybe there's something in the field. I'm gonna be honest, I don't see nothing. There ain't nothing good out here. This reminds me of a song. Weirdly, it's like popped in my mind.
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector Lockhart? Did he put you up to this?
Sir, the inspector has nothing to do with it. I'm telling you the same thing I tell anyone seeking a missing person.
Good day, gentlemen. Forgive the intrusion. Captain Stenwick, this is my colleague Sherlock Holmes, the consulting detective I told you about.
At last, a professional. This useless officer refuses to do anything about Kimmy here, my missing servant. What was your name again? I shall be certain to inform your superiors.
Sergeant Ruffles. And it's my superiors who made this decision, sir.
Okay, so other missing people?
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course, here and there. But when life is tough and opportunity comes knocking, you can't blame those who answer.
Why has the police department decided not to help?
We investigate murders, thefts, fraud, arson, real crimes. A servant walking away from his master is not our highest priority. That said, if we find Kimahia breaking the law, we'll be sure to notify Captain Stenwick. Now, I must be off. Best of luck in your search.
You heard that, didn't you? The way that man spoke to me. I shall need your written testimony, then we can lodge a complaint.
Captain, perhaps Mr. Holmes' time is better spent learning about your servant, so that he may begin his investigation.
Ah, yes. Quite right. Fire away.
Alrighty, so let's first get the description.
Tell me about Kimahir.
He's foreign. A Maori. All the way from New Zealand. Biggest man you've ever seen, and as strong as two. Dark hair and fearsome tattoos. He doesn't speak a whit of English. Never bothered to learn. But I made do with pointing. I invested a lot of money in him, so he must be found.
Oh, he invested money in a servant. Very suspicious.
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here normally brings me the morning papers, but yesterday I had to get them myself. He must have escaped the night before yesterday.
Escaped? Okay.
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack is in the garden. You can't miss it.
Did you search the room?
Of course, but only to check he wasn't lying dead inside. Everything seemed normal at a glance.
Yeah, let's find out why would he run away.
Is there any reason Kimahir may have left?
I should think not. He had all he could have wanted. Gainful employment, new clothes, and all the cabbage he could eat.
Did Kimahir make off with anything of value?
Heavens, no. I would have mentioned it to Sergeant Ruffles.
Still, he must have fled with some money on his person.
No. I kept his wages in my safe. For security.
I take it this is the first time Kimahir has vanished?
Undoubtedly. The man seemed terrified of the city. I think it was all the noise. He never left this estate. Should he cause any damage, I will bear the responsibility, for it was I who rescued him from savagery and brought him here to England in the first place.
All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first take a look around the mansion.
Go ahead. I'll be here, mentally drafting my complaint.
Awesome. So yeah, it kind of sounds like a little bit of slavery, you know? One of the big things, especially you see a lot, is like America was one of the last places to get rid of slavery. The problem is that places like Europe were going to Africa, and they just, you know, they were doing slavery, but just not calling it slavery. And yeah, that caused a whole bunch of problems. And one of the worst recorded instances of slavery in Africa is the Republic of the Congo. You look into the Republic of the Congo, oh my goodness. There's a government drone right there. Look at him. He's a biggin too. Oh yeah, let's zoom in on him. Look at that. We can barely see through him because he's not real. Yeah, but let's get out of here. Let's get back into the store. But yeah, this guy is more likely a slave. Especially when the guy's like, I hold his wages in my safe. Kind of sounds like he's not paying him. What do we got? What is that? Knee print hiding.
Looks like a knee print. A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman's boots.
Oh, we're learning new things here. Oh, blood.
Chewing tobacco. Someone knelt here. The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
That chewing tobacco looked like blood, though. With enough clues, Sherlock can use imagination to reconstruct the past. Yeah, well, we're nowhere near that.
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right.
That is very strange. Okay, let's see. Is there anything? We've already looked at that one. Probably need to go into his house.
The rag reeks of smoke. Someone plugged the chimney.
Oh, somebody wanted him to come out of his house. Very interesting.
A scrap of Hessian. These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them.
Oh, it looks like someone's face.
Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here.
That's pretty cool. Alright, what else are we looking for? The rope?
A small navy spyglass.
Someone was spying. The question is, who would spy on a servant?
A Maori nose flute. Ngurus, they're called. Clothes made of Hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly?
Yeah, he's not treating him really good. That's for sure.
No air coming through it. Button chops. The remains of a meal.
Well, at least he had meat.
A heavy chemical odor. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid, Mr. Holmes, a narcotic.
Interesting. Someone tried to drug him.
The ashes are long since cold.
Alright, let me up. Okay, so are we missing anything? The window.
Is this a Taniwha, a Maori water spirit, or something else?
Either way, it's giving me chills.
Why would that give you chills?
Stenwick makes his servant live in a tool shed. You think you know someone.
Yeah, let's be honest. We all know what was going on here.
Could have left these tracks. They seem fresh.
Definitely looks like someone was leaving through that door. Is there one? We missing one over here? We've already looked at that. Whoa, what is this? Yeah, that kind of makes sense though. Can we go B or something here? We just have one, huh? Okay. That's fine. So we got one guy there. Let's go to another one. But wouldn't he change his way of moving? Oh, here we go. Bent to the left. That's probably the bent to the right. Okay. So he had some sort of like
Someone moved a cart to this spot and then took it elsewhere. Can't see it anywhere in the garden.
The logs near the shack are in shambles, as if someone had dropped them. There are similar tracks near the shack. Garden cart was usually kept under the rain cover. Okay. Let's see, can we jump, maybe?
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right.
Alright, we're only missing one, though. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you think Kimmy here had an accomplice in his escape? Yes, Stenwick is no angel, but he's one of my few clients. Please, try to remain courteous.
Yeah. We'll try. See if we can talk to him, maybe.
I thought you were meant to be intelligent.
The door to your garden has an interesting lock.
Yes, I have uncommon locks on every door of my mansion. It makes them harder to pick. Kimmy here and I both had a set of keys.
I'll need to borrow them.
No, you'll need to do what I tell you to do. Examine the garden.
Okay.
I thought you were meant to be intelligent. I thought you were meant to be intelligent.
I came across a pile of Hessian clothes in the shack. Are they Kimahir's?
Yes, I had to give him something to clothe himself. He seemed unfazed by his bare skin, but I found it distracting.
Interesting.
Is this spyglass familiar?
I don't recognize it.
Could it be Kimahir's, perhaps?
I doubt it. I never saw him with it, nor could I suggest how he might have come by it. Are you joking? Why would I know this?
Has Kimahir ever indulged in tobacco?
No, the man doesn't even drink.
Are you certain? I found chewing tobacco in the garden.
I controlled Kimihia's expenses since he struggled with the currency. I would have known if he used tobacco.
Very interesting.
Do you happen to know Kimihia's shoe size?
I wouldn't have the foggiest, but I'm sure it was enormous. Not that it matters. He spent his life barefoot. Despite my best efforts, he simply did not take to shoes.
Alrighty, so we have investigated quite a bit here. So let's see if we can do anything in here. Okay, so we have all of the things unlocked now. Okay, so we have some weird guy. The feet are not right. Oh. With the spyglass to spy on him. That kind of makes sense. He's making sure he's like still, you know, in there. Let's see, which one's this one? This is the fourth one. Let's try to do the second one first. This one I didn't like. Oh, the bad guy, huh? You could be the bad guy. Oh, but there's someone. Ooh, yeah, you know that looks like what happened. Let's see what we got here. Probably something like that. No, it wasn't him, it was the bad guy. I think it's that right there. Nope, we're missing 2. But we almost got all of them. Ooh, maybe something like that. Perfect.
Surveilling from afar, the intruder waited for a window of opportunity. When Kimihia went to sleep, the man crept up to the shack and slipped narcotics down the chimney pipe, then blocked it with a cloth. Kimihia inhaled the sedative and fell into a deep sleep. The intruder tried to move him, but the man was heavier than expected. The intruder fell on the sack and dropped his spyglass. In order to transport the servant, he had to use the cart. The final challenge was opening the garden door. Luckily for our intruder, Kimihia had the key in his shack.
Very interesting. Okay, so now we kind of know what happened. And I'm pretty sure we need to go talk to his owner again. But we're going to stop here today. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the links below. As you can hear, my voice is a little rough right now. So we'll see.